Smells like Zoom Air. Yo, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today, we got a detailed look and breakdown on a brand new Air Jordan 1. And these, my friends, are the Air Jordan 1.
Comfort 2.
Now, I always want to say Zoom Air Jordan 1. The title of the shoes were done, it's Air Jordan 1 Air Zoom Comfort 2.
Times 2.
No, just 2. This is the second one, not times 2. They should have said that and added 2 Zoom units.
Extra air.
No, just Zoom Air.
To the second power.
She's ruining everything. Now, first things first, these just dropped out of nowhere. No promos for them, no advertising. I did see an article once I Googled the damn shoe, but if you didn't actually follow, the sneaker blogs, which I don't, then seeing these on a store shelf for the first time like I did,
That was totally wicked!
Now before we get in the shoe, the box is the same as the original Zoom Comfort 1, so it's that brown box. The paper says Zoom Air on it, and unlike the first versions of the shoe, they actually came kind of like individually wrapped, and then they were tied together with a piece of kind of like cardboard. When you open up that cardboard, it had a full-on tech spec sheet of everything that they changed inside the sneaker, which is awesome. They did the same thing here, but they didn't wrap it up. Instead, they put it as the graphic on the top of the box lid.
It's beautiful.
So this type of graphic was done by the same person or the same team that they did on the Jordan 2 trays. We're not going to talk about those, but yeah, so it's the same kind of style of art, and I think it's really great. Basically, you see all of the ideas that went into making the shoe and all of the changes that they made while making the shoe, which I think is awesome. Now, the main thing that they've changed between these guys and the original Air Jordan 1s, whether that be the low top version, the low top OG, the mid or low SEs, the OG 1 high, or the 85 cut, is that the tech specs are a little bit different. They are very similar to the original Zoom Comfort 1s, but they changed things up just a little bit, and I'm here for it because I think that the change is not significant, but really cool nonetheless, especially if you've been paying attention to Jordan brand and its products lately. So we do still have a rubber cupsole right here, which is awesome, even though I think that this could be easily the main thing that they changed, because you have the women's Jordan 1 low slip-ons. Awesome model, because they actually took the rubber cupsole and they removed the rubber and they replaced it with Phylon, which makes them super comfortable. Now, while they still have not done that yet on a men's pair of Jordan 1s, which I think that they should do, they have done certain things to this cupsole that I still think are really great. You can't see it from the side, which I think is pretty cool, so these can kind of be considered a Pro-Tro, even though this is not a performance retro. It's just a, well, maybe it is performance, but for comfort, not for play.
Light bulb.
But anyways, when you flip these things around, that is so pretty. I can't even tell you how excited this makes me. All the gray sections that you see are still rubber, which is great because that's going to be your main source of traction, especially when you're going from a wet to dry or dry to wet, different textures and conditions outside. But all of the red portions that you see, much like the original Zoom Comfort 1s, this is actually all foam. The difference being is that this is not Phylon anymore. Instead, it's what Jordan brand is calling their Formula 23. So we saw that in the Lucas, we saw that in the heel of the Air Jordan 37s, and now we're seeing it in a pair of Jordan 1s, which I think is really cool. On top of that, they got a cool little window in there that you could see right into the sole of the shoe, and they put the Zoom Air logo all over the airbag, which I don't know about you guys, but that is awesome. Now, the tech specs, like I said, are the Formula 23 and the Zoom units. Unfortunately, they don't look like this, where it's segmented Zoom, so you got one in the forefoot, one in the heel. Instead, it just looks like that. So it's just the heel unit, and that's it. The rest of the footbed is going to be all foam, though. Are these super comfortable compared to a regular Air Jordan 1? I don't want to say super is the right word. They're just more comfortable than an Air Jordan 1. Are they more comfortable than the original Zoom Comfort 1s? That's where I'll say yes. You could definitely feel a slight difference, emphasis on slight. And I think that has less to do with the tech spec change and more to do with the insole change. So I don't know what this is outside of it being foam, but it's not Dream Cell. I don't believe that this is polyurethane. Feels like a dense EVA. It could be polyurethane. I've felt polyurethane that feels like this. It was on a performance shoe though. Remember those ones? I don't remember what they were called, but they had a drop-in PU insole. James Harden used to wear them. I had the All-Star ones. It had like an asymmetrical lacing system and everything. I know that you guys know what I'm talking about, right? If I can find the thumbnail, it's gonna be right here. But anyways, the insole on these guys is awesome. It's perforated on top of that, so there's a little bit of extra compression or squish there. So a lot of the comfort that I was feeling is from this. Just know that when you put these on, you're not gonna be blown away. They're just definitely gonna be more comfortable than a regular Jordan 1 and slightly more comfortable than the Zoom Comfort 1s. And again, if you wanted to see the exact implementation of the cushion system, it is right here. They got it like exploded and everything. Love this.
I like it a lot.
Now the materials on these are half ass and half not. So the original version of the Zoom Comfort 1 was kind of the same, even though the underlay panels on the majority of the colorways, not all of them, just the majority, started off as canvas. And then there were some that were synthetic suede, like those red ones that we did first, that was all suede. And then the second one that we did that was more similar to an OG style color blocking was canvas or nylon and then suede. And then I've even seen pairs, like we just gave away the Bordeaux ones, right? And that was suede and the underlay panel was leather. So there's definitely different variations. This is just going to be one of what I could assume is many. I just would assume that a lot of them are going to be kind of like this, where the top materials are probably better than the underlay materials. But either way, I think that the cushion changes are worth taking a look at these. So again, the underlay materials that you see here, this black stuff, I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that it's all synthetic and everything. Like you can see right here at the collar, it's kind of like cut open. The toe area is the main part that I don't love it. Like, especially when you put it on and you start flexing the shoe around, it kind of like bubbles up in weird areas. It doesn't look as natural as nice leathers and suede does. But either way, the top materials that you see here, like all of the gray sections, is suede and nubucks. So the panels that you see are a little furry. That's going to be the suede. And then these wings, straps and stuff like that, the support panels, if you will, those ones are made out of nubuck. What I really like about those is that this one, especially, like you pull this out, you can see where it's literally split. So you can see the leather behind it, and then you can see the top coat on top of that. I just really like seeing those things. Speaking of which, they actually depict this in the art that's on the box lid and everything, where these are definitely different than not just the first version of the Zoom Comfort ones, but almost all ones in general. Not every pair of ones. I know that the Rookie of the Years, and there's a few others, had these little ankle collars that were not attached and everything. This is more like a Nike Dunk, which I really like. But my favorite part is actually that they did the same thing to the base areas right here. These are fully independent pieces, really, really cool. But underneath that, what you can't actually see, is very similar to the Nike Air Ship, where underneath that, there's a V cutout underneath there. So that's really, really dope. Again, it depicts that right here. And what they say on there is the tongue design is a secured fit allowing lacing style versatility, but the forefoot fit is an updated design that allows for dynamic forefoot flex and expansion. And that aspect is really awesome because you normally don't get that in a normal Jordan 1 until you really break in the shoe. Once you do, they are heavenly, but I know that that process could be a pain in the ass. So if you don't like dealing with that process, this shoe is here for you. It's like basically wearing an Air Jordan 1 slipper. Now the tongue is different. It's no longer nylon on this model. Instead, it's a really nice neoprene, and it's actually perforated on top of that, so it's breathable and comfortable. And again, it's kind of like a gusseted feel. It just hugs your foot, man. It feels awesome. Gusseted means that the tongue is attached to the inner lining in some way, shape, or form. And then they removed the Nike Air tab on the top of the tongue, and they replaced it with Zoom Air, which I think looks really cool. And then one of the other things that they changed is right back here. It's almost like a Huarache. This is more neoprene and textile underneath there, and it's got little ankle cutouts, which I don't exactly know why they did that, because it's not any more or less comfortable if it's like a full high top or mid or whatever, but I just thought it was really neat. Now, as far as the sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. However, like I was saying before, when you flex the forefoot area, it just kind of is structured in a weird way that it like flexes funny to me, but it's very similar to what you get in the cheaper versions of an Air Jordan 1, so that would be the mid or the Air Jordan 1 low, not the low OG or the Air Jordan 1 low /mid SE. Those are a little bit different. For those of you guys that don't know, the Air Jordan 1 is basically its own line now within Jordan Brand. So there's a full team dedicated just to making Air Jordan 1s. All of the different variations, all the different versions. I think it's really weird, but it's also very cool. Very similar to what Nike does with its sportswear stuff and the Nike Air Force 1. So yeah, they're basically out there reworking this shoe in ways that I think makes it not better as a hoop shoe, but better as far as like an everyday all around type of casual lifestyle sneaker, which is really dope. But sound off below, let us know what you think about these in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one.